All right, what's up? What's up? How's everyone doing? Here's another day, Thursday, and we're finishing the day up $410. A nice, another solid day in the markets. Right now, back to back $400 days. Definitely good, good sign of growth. Definitely showing itself this week. Um, right now, I'm on track for my biggest week so far. I beat my previous biggest ever week, which was 1,147, which is a couple weeks ago. And so right now I'm sitting up on the week with still one more day left. So, obviously, anything can happen. So 1,400 right now on the week, which is solid. Definitely my biggest week ever so far. So showing lots of growth, especially me adding share size and pushing the envelope like 10% more, like in little baby steps every day, just a little bit baby steps each and every day, pushing it, pushing it, pushing it, pushing it, slowly and steadily, not overdoing it, not forcing it. Um, was able to me to get to now I'm sitting right here with the biggest week so far, with one day left. So, I mean, anything can happen. Obviously, prepared for anything, but I'm going to come in tomorrow definitely with the same kind of energy that I've been attacking this entire week with. And that is just being completely focused on the markets and keep doing the things that have been working for me. Um, Breakouts have been kind of nice this past week. Breakouts have been working. First pullback after a fresh breakout has been working, and those were the strategies that I was implementing this week to be green. Not so much I'm not really doing any backside trading, not trading under VWAP. Strictly sticking to high day breaks, anticipating higher day breaks, pullbacks on a front side, bull flags, 1 minute pullback, 1 minute pullbacks, bull flags, cup and handle patterns, all in a front side move, over the 9 EMA and over the VWAP. Not really looking for a trading backside at all. So that's what I've been doing. We can go through, VERU was my best trading, was here on VERU. And I went in for, I can go over these trades here on VERU. So VERU traded pre-market a little bit, and we had a nice little breakout, kind of holding, but I did get faked out here. I was going for the break here of 1469, but I got faked out on this candle here. I was in 300 shares, so a little bit bigger share size, definitely. So I'm definitely pushing a little bit more. And pre-market, this is about a $4,000 position size, maybe a little bit more, and maybe like $4,200, $4,300 position size. And so this ended up being maybe about a $50 loss. So I was down $50 here pre-market, going into the open down $50. Here I go for the red to green move, but I'm not even thinking about here. I'm not even thinking about a giant short squeeze that's about to happen. I'm thinking, this is going to be a quick pop and then we're going to reject, because we just rejected so hard at the open, like literally enormous, almost $1 flush at the open. And then when we popped back up, I was like looking for that red to green kind of. Here I scalped like 20 cents there. Here I scalped another 20 cents. But I'm not really thinking about like a huge explosion that's just about to happen without even me realizing it. We break out of that pre-market high, rip through $15. Here I'm still just being way too conservative. And then this candle here just rips up out of nowhere. Here I'm thinking it's extended topping tail candle. I'm thinking we'd see a pullback maybe back to 1480s. Maybe like a quick bull flag setup, or a quick 2 bar bull flag, and then rip up. But we just squeezed. We just kept squeezing past 16. This giant candle, over a dollar a share candle there, resumes, but it opened lower. So I was a little bit skeptical trading here in the first candle here. It was really kind of all over the place, but it was having a lot of support around in the $16 area. Every time it came down, it kind of held. So I did start scalping this a little bit, and I came out with a small profit there. And then here again, here I got back in at 16 because we held 16. We dipped down below, held support on the 90 EMA, broke back over $16, adding here. Here at 1605 and then 1621, and I didn't quite get much profit on that. I thought this would be a bigger move, maybe testing back up near 17, so I did take that off for only a 3-cent profit. Here was a small loss, kind of just in the range, and at this point I'm like, all right, now there's no really clear direction that this is heading in. It's still technically on our front side, but we're still very, very extended on the 5-minute, and so now I'm thinking we might see a pullback, and we do pull back a little bit more, but buyers scoop up these shares, anything under the 9 EMA, under $16, and we have a crazy bounce. I get in here at 16, 18, taking off only for a 10-cent profit. Really sold myself short there, and then just blew me out of the water. This thing rips back up to 17. I get back in at for the break of 17, getting in at 1650, adding as it's going higher, selling it again for after the break of 17 at 1709, only 5-cent profit. I really definitely I sold my profits very, very, very soon on this, which was kind of I limited my winners too much on VERU. And I think it's because this is a bigger share size. So here, my biggest position size in one position was 750 shares. Even though it says 1,000 or 2,000, I just did a lot of trades in this candle. It wasn't one trade, but my biggest position at one time was 750 shares. And so if I do my calculation, let me pull up my calculator, my handy dandy calculator. So 750 shares times 16, let's say 1628, which is that average position, 1628. That puts me at a $12,200 position size. That's a crazy big position. And so here I'm thinking, I just want to take my profits. I don't want to overstay my welcome. It's already up quite a bit on the 1-minute chart. And I'm thinking we'd see a big pullback at some point. So I'm thinking, I'll go in big size. I sized in much bigger than this first run up here, much smaller size than here. This is when I start sizing up, and I'm like, this is the opportunity. I'm green on VERU. I'm dialed in. It's giving good opportunity. It's very, very liquid. That's what I loved about VERU. It was a very tight spread and very easy to trade in my experience. Or no, maybe this wasn't. It did have a little bit of spread on it, but it wasn't so big that it was untradeable. I don't like spreads that are more than 1% of the stock. So this was definitely tighter than 15 cents. It was more like maybe 5 or 6 cent spread, maybe less at some times. It was very liquid, so I wasn't taking too much risk. I could get in and out if I did get a bad entry. So, which sometimes I did get a bad entry on some of these, but I want to take my profits quick on this because I was in bigger size, and so I was a little bit nervous. So I didn't really let my winners run. So that kind of held me back a little bit, but still ended up solidly green on VERU. Here I'm scalping the dips, selling the pops, scalping the dips, selling the pops. Here I did go for this here for a nice 15-cent gain on 1,000 shares. This is one of my bigger winners. This would put me up over $350. But then I immediately got back in with a small share size starter as it was kind of holding 17. So I got in at 1707, and this thing just flashed down, and I had to panic sell. I didn't know if this was going to go down another $1. I mean, it was just so suspended on the 1-minute chart. Who knows? So, I completely just hit exit. It was a small share size, so I had no problem with that. And I'm looking for that next opportunity. Here I got another 14 cents. And then after that flash down, you see I did size down a little bit, just because I wanted to make sure I was still seeing the charts correctly. Because this was a 30-cent loss, 35-cent loss. That's a big loss, 35 cents. If I was in 750, if I was in 1,000 shares, I'm still 30. That's like, is that $300? $350? That's a lot. That's a lot. That's pretty much everything I made up to that point. And then so here, then I go in for a quick 15 cents there. There's another 10 cents there. It's a 10-cent loss on only 100 shares. Then here I get back in aggressive. Here, 1785, adding at the highs. I'm looking for a parabolic squeeze, another huge candle through 18. I just thought that the shorts were trapped on this. I thought this would go parabolic, but you see the volume is a little bit lighter, and I do start to pick up on that. And I start taking my loss kind of quickly here. I'm selling at 89, just trying to get out here up towards the highs. I see it's not really holding up here. So I do get a little bit nervous taking it off, and then I do kind of dwindle it out quite quickly. And then look at this backside, just no bounces, just a 10% backside. No chance on being green on that one. Thank God I did not go in for any dip buys on that, because that would be this is the setup where you don't want to be averaging down. This is technically not in a front side anymore since it broke down below 1750, below these highs back here. It's now technically in a range, and so at this point, you don't want to be averaging down. And so here we do find some support. I do kind of scalp off the lows here because I see kind of some kind of support down here. Maybe here I was trying to find some support, but didn't really hold up well. And then it came down here, and I'm like, all right, VWAP support. I can trade that. Got a quick 10 cents off the low there, but I did leave a lot on the table there. Then that was it for VERU, but very nice. 343 on the day on VERU. And then Pack B shows up to the party. This thing was kind of like NVTA, just a large float. Let's look at the shares outstanding. A large float. Yeah, 224 shares outstanding. Insanely large float. But NVTA had a large float yesterday. So, these large floats have just been popping up, popping and dropping. And this thing popped and dropped. I did actually take a small loss there for this breakout. Got faked out. But I did grind up. I didn't start getting into it until up here. I go in for this first red candle down here at 79. And just like the first 1 minute pullback, and kind of just quickly scalp that for 5 cents on 450 shares. Decent share size. Back in 450 shares at 94. So it's like a quick 1 minute pullback, and I'm just anticipating continuation now through 13. This one was a small loss actually. Yeah, so this one I sold half of that some of that position over 13, but then it rejected, and I sold the rest at 12.76, and that was a net loss on that trade. And then it pops back up. 76 here. I'm going for this breakout for 13.69. So we pop back up. We close at near the highs of this candle. This is very risky trading. I don't know why I was trading. This is very risky, very extended here. But I do go in. 13. My first entry is at 13.58 underneath here. So I'm looking for the break now of 13.70. Adding here at 72. Then taking my profits, and then I added back at 13.96 all the way up here, and I got my sell in at 14.02. Really quick scalping there, and this thing just went backside quick. This thing had like no problem just dumping. This thing went from 14 to 9 faster than it went from 9 to 14. Very, very dangerous stuff. So this is another example of why my strategy of taking profits quickly does pay off. Some people, I know in the comments, I see comments like, why are you selling so fast? Why? Let your trades breathe, blah, blah, blah. This is how I trade, and this is how I've been able to survive this long, and this is how I'm now able to sustain my life trading thus far. And it's working for me. This is how I'm able to manage my risk effectively and stay profitable. Even though I do leave money on the table, it really doesn't matter all that much, because at the end of the day, I'm profitable. And if you're profitable and consistently profitable, then all you need to do to make more money is to size up and do the exact same thing that you've been doing. So if I were to start changing my strategy here because people start saying, oh, why are you selling so soon? Why are you trading like that? Why didn't you just hold for a much? You could have made so much more if you just bought and just hold. If I were to change that, that changes the whole dynamic of my statistics. It changes my win-loss ratio. It changes my risk-reward ratio. It changes my psychology. It changes my profitability. It changes my consistency. It changes everything. And so that's not something that I want to start, messing around with if what I'm doing is working. And if I'm doing is working, all I need to do is to keep doing that and adapting to the changes in the market. And yeah, I don't see a reason to just change my strategy based on potentially leaving money on the table, because by leaving money on the table, okay, yeah, in one instance you could be leaving money on the table, but in this instance here, I didn't give back any profits on a 33% flush with no bounces, no support holds, nothing. No chance to be green on this backside. So, it's always good with the bad. Maybe one time, I do leave money on the table for example, VERU, but I'm still profitable, still green. I would much rather have that than now potentially, here being green, but then giving it all back because I'm holding it on too long, or getting in too high and I'm holding too long. And so that's why, just my strategy is just working for me psychologically. It works well. It's just how I've been able to do it. That's how I've been able to stay green, and it's working for me. So I don't really feel like there's a reason to really change what I'm doing. I'm having bigger and bigger green days, bigger and bigger green weeks. So, I mean, I don't know why some people just don't think that not holding long is a drawback. I mean, not holding long could be a serious benefit in a trading strategy, because you're limiting your exposure to the market, getting in, getting green, getting out, base hits, base hits, base hits, base hits, and it adds up and it adds up and it adds up, and then before you know it, at the end of the month, you just have a stack of cash. So I'm not really trying to have, some people like to trade where it's like 3 days in the month they have these huge green trades because, well, yeah, they hold on for a long time, and every once in a while you have that one stock that goes from 0 to 100, like we saw the other week. Was it HKD? But then, the other days, there's a whole bunch of other days that those stocks, they pop up 20%, 30%, and then they drop. And they don't hold up at all. And those are the days that are just red, 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 red. But then, obviously you have those 3 huge green days to offset those red days. But, it's just a completely different way of trading. And, you just have to be that type of person that trades like that. And some people aren't like that. Some people are like that. So, both strategies, both approaches are okay. It's just what works best for you. Everybody has a different psychological wiring and what they're comfortable with and what they excel at. And so PAC B, I'm sorry, here, KTTA I was looking for. I did trade this pre-market. I did get a quick win on it through that break from 160. Then here I tried to go for a red to green, kind of scaled in starter size, kind of feeling it out, seeing if we got some volume to come in, some momentum, but no buyers really came in. All the news was on VERU, so I jumped ship on KTTA, and then we moved over to XELA. XELA is one that I traded here pre-market. Here's a quick dip, 2 cents there, but I just took my profits too soon. I was still holding a third of my position, but again, still selling that too soon. It did go up another 2% or so and broke out, but it didn't really hold up that much, so not really the best XELA. There just wasn't enough volume on it. With this type of stock, you need, for a $1 stock, you need to have 2-3 million shares per 1 minute candle. This XELA just didn't have it. And the last one was DRCT. Let's look at DRCT here. Oh my God, 20 minute video. So yeah, DRCT kind of, this made a nice move pre-market. I was kind of sizing in on the VWAP, finding some support, and 9 EMA was catching up. So, and I did see a pop there, but I was adding into 370. I had my starter down here at 63 and then adding at 70 for the break, and I thought we'd see a nice move at the 390s, but it got stuffed into that level. It took a small loss, and then here I did it again for that another test, 368 adding, and then for that break at 370. This time I took off my profits quick, but I did leave maybe about 6 cents on the table, but it's all good. It's all good. Here then, DRCT is what I was watching at the open, looking for a red to green and breakthrough 3.9. It's a very small float, 2 million share float. So I thought this thing could run, but didn't hold up at all. Here I took a 5-cent loss on 1,250 shares, so decent, okay loss. I was down another 50, 60 bucks. And then here's a break-even trade here as this thing failed for that red to green. But I was looking for $4 on DRCT, never came. But yeah, going into the open, I was actually down. I was down 60 bucks. After this trade, I was down 110. Then VERU popped up and just kind of wiped the floors there on VERU with 343 in profit. So I did a nice red to green from red 100 to green 400. So a nice $500 swing in my P&L. Definitely showing lots of signs of growth. Did not yet have the biggest green day yet. I mean, my biggest green day is 576, I think, 586 or 568, something like that. So I think I'm in shape to be breaking that soon. But I'm not going to force it. The day's going to come. The day's going to come. But everything is pointing in the right direction. Here, I can see. I'm going to look at the volume. 42,000 shares here. So not the biggest volume. I definitely could have traded more volume. VERU is a more expensive stock, so obviously I'm trading less shares, but that's decent shares. To have that type of green day is pretty good. But I want to get up to 100,000 shares per day, but obviously it does depend on the price of the stock. Obviously, larger the price, the less shares I'm going to take. The lower the price, the more shares. So obviously that fluctuates. So it's obviously probably better to just to base it off of dollar position size. So I want my dollar position size nowhere less than 5K and then nowhere more than 10K. So kind of in that range between 5 and 10K, sweet spot around 7K share size or 7K dollar amount per trade. And so a 10% day on 7K dollar position size is a $700 green day, and that would be my biggest green day ever. So that's kind of like the ballpark that I'm shooting at. So that's it for today. Finishing up $410. Nice green day. Good day to be alive. Good day to be green. Tomorrow will be the last day trading. The last day trading this week. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.